So today, we're going to dive into a project that is just super cool. We're looking at how a classic piece of farm equipment gets a serious jolt of modern power. We're going to break down how you can actually convert a vintage tractor to run entirely on electricity. It really proves you don't always need to replace old tech. Sometimes you can totally reinvent it. And that's the big question, right? Can you take the rugged mechanical soul of an old tractor and fuse it with the silent, instant torque of an electric motor? Well, let's find out. All right, let's meet our star for today. This is an International 300 utility tractor, a total classic workhorse. But as you can probably tell, what's under the hood now, or maybe I should say what's replaced what was under the hood, is anything but vintage. Okay, let's start with the tractor's brand new electric heart. I mean, this isn't just a simple engine swap, it's a complete rethink of how this machine gets its power. Now, one thing the creator makes super clear is that this is a proof of concept. The goal here isn't perfection. Not yet. It's all about testing the core idea, seeing what works, what doesn't, and just learning along the way before they commit to that final polished version. So what are the actual parts bringing this electric beast to life? When you break it all down, it's a surprisingly straightforward system. Okay, so the power journey starts at a 48-volt battery pack. From there, it flows through something called a contactor, which is basically just a really heavy-duty on-off switch, and then into the motor controller. Now, that controller is the brain of the whole operation, telling the 20-horsepower electric motor exactly how much juice to deliver to the tractor's original transmission. For this first test run, the throttle is just a simple thumb joystick. But the long-term plan is what's really cool. They're going to connect the tractor's original throttle lever to a potentiometer. This way, it'll keep that classic mechanical feel, which just perfectly blends the old tech with the new. But, a tractor does more than just drive forward. It has to do real work, and that means powering its hydraulics for lifting things and, in this case, for power steering. And to handle all that, a completely separate 12-volt system was installed. It's got its own dedicated battery and hydraulic pump just to power the steering and the 3-point hitch for lifting heavy stuff. And this right here, this shows you just how crucial that hydraulic pump is. Without it running, trying to turn the steering wheel is a serious workout. But as soon as that pump gets switched on, the power steering kicks in and boom, you can turn the wheel easily with just one hand. There is a catch though. In a moment of total honesty, the creator points out that the hydraulic pump is, well, it's pretty noisy. It's one of those real-world details that reminds you, hey, this is a work in progress, not some silent factory-built EV. All right, now for the fun part, the test drive. This is where theory meets reality and we get to see if this new electric heart can actually do the work. And right off the bat, there is a huge win. The power steering is a total game changer. It works really, really well and makes the tractor incredibly easy to maneuver. It's a massive success for that separate 12-volt system. But hey, this is a proof of concept test, so of course it wasn't all smooth sailing. The challenges that popped up are actually where the most valuable lessons were learned. So what were the hiccups? Well, 3 things really stood out. A small hydraulic fluid leak appeared, shifting gears without a clutch turned out to be pretty tricky, and like we mentioned, that hydraulic pump was just plain loud. All things to put on the to-do list for the next phase. Driving around the yard is one thing, but a tractor needs to prove it has the muscle to do actual work. So for the ultimate test, it was time to hitch up a heavy load. And that load is an 800-pound teardrop trailer. This is going to be a real test of that 20-horsepower motor's torque and the tractor's ability to pull some serious weight. And here's another one of those moments where the hydraulics just completely steal the show. Before the tractor even starts pulling, the creator points out that the trailer's tongue is way too heavy to lift by hand, but with the tractor's hydraulic hitch, effortless. And the final verdict? Success. The tractor pulled that 800-pound trailer around the yard without any major issues. This is the moment right here where the proof of concept really proves itself. The idea works. Okay, so with a successful test drive in the books, the project is officially ready to move beyond the proof of concept stage and into a much more powerful, more refined final build. And the plan moving forward is crystal clear. A larger battery pack is already on the way for more range and more power. They're looking at a more powerful motor, maybe from a forklift or even a Nissan Leaf for more torque. And finally, the goal is to reinstall all the original sheet metal, hiding all the modern components and making the tractor look completely stock from the outside. How cool is that?
This project is just a brilliant example of how old tech can be reborn with new power. It's a look at a future where we don't just replace things, we reinvent them. And it really makes you wonder, from lawnmowers to classic cars, what other machine out there deserves an electric heart? Thanks for tuning in.